if you ask pretty much any ultra marathoner, they'll say the same thing, which is I'm not focused on the finish line. I'm focused on the next mailbox. Because a lot of these go through residential neighborhoods or whatever, or even like in the country on country roads. They're always focused on getting to that next mailbox, that, the house with the red shingles at the end of the road, that, that road sign up ahead. They're always focused on exactly what I just said, the next mailbox. And
that was Sohail. So really talented copywriter. And again, I'll never say it ever again. So for the 95 people that are on this live right now watching, you heard it here first. But I know Sohail has some stuff that he said that he thinks is been pretty impactful for him and will most likely be impactful for a lot of people watching. So Sohail, take it away.
How much pain are you in right now?
I'm in excrucially pain.
There were so many caveats. You're like, well, he might be kind of, sort of the reason you're all here. Like, I really feel loved sharing a desk with you, Sean. So I don't really want to go too much into my background just because there's not really much to share there. It'll kind of weave into the story or the lesson I want to share with you guys today. The biggest thing, not sure entirely how to start this, but basically I've been living my life this way for a long time, and only recently did I find the words to actually verbalize it. When I did, I got a lot of clarity. What I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about the motivation to move forward, even if you don't fully understand why. Because one of the things that we hear a lot in BAM is focus on your vision, your big why. And that's extremely important because you do need a guiding light, a North Star, a place to go. However, you don't always have that right at the beginning. And yes, it's extremely important to do the deep work to get there, but don't let that paralyze you. So what I realized since I was, I want to say maybe 18 when I started my first business, I never really focused on the big vision. I just kind of focused on what was in front of me. And like I said earlier, I never really had the words to describe this until recently when I was reading an article about ultra marathoners. And if you don't know what an ultra marathon is, there's a few different variations of this. It could be anything from running 100 miles to running a literal 24-hour marathon where you're awake for the entire 24 hours. And what anyone will tell you who's done an ultra marathon is that it has very, very little to do with physical strength or your actual body. It's 90% mental toughness. And what's really interesting is that if you ask pretty much any ultra marathoner, they'll say the same thing, which is I'm not focused on the finish line. I'm focused on the next mailbox. Because a lot of these go through residential neighborhoods or whatever, or even in the country on country roads. They're always focused on getting to that next mailbox, that, the house with the red shingles at the end of the road, that, that road sign up ahead. They're always focused on exactly what I just said, the next mailbox. And what's really interesting about that is it's not they know in the back of their head what the big vision is. It's to get to the finish line. It's to finish the race. But that's not what's keeping them going forward. It's always what's right in front of them. And what I realized recently is that all the success I've had over the past 8 years, and Sean will tell you that's a very minimal amount of success, but nonetheless, the success I've had over the last 8 years has really come from going, okay, first off, it was I want to start an open mic in my university town because I wanted to get more practice being a stand-up comedian. That was the mailbox. And then once I got a venue to say yes, it was, okay, well, now I want to get paid to do this. And then once I hit that mailbox, it was, I want to make sure it's a full house every week. And once I got there, it was, I want to up this to 2 shows a week. And then after that, it was, well, then I didn't really have a vision beyond that. So I put that business aside. But the point was, it got me to where I needed to be. And then even when I started my first agency, personally, I never wanted to start a digital marketing agency. What I always wanted to do was I wanted to figure out how to get enough cash flow to get out of working in the restaurant industry so I could then figure out what I wanted to do. I didn't want to stay in the restaurant industry and figure it out. I wanted enough money coming in to do so. So when I joined my first coaching program, I built my agency in such a way that it got me enough money coming in that I was able to go, okay, I don't need to be working for tips. I don't need to be bartending or doing weddings. I got that. And then once I got out of that business, I was able to explore different parts of the digital marketing world. So then that became the Mailbox. It was explore, everything from ads to SEO to web builds to funnels to all this. And what I stumbled upon was two things, and it was marketing strategy and copywriting. And then the next Mailbox was, okay, how do I get into a position where I can work with really high level people at a high level? And I looked at it and said, okay, what are two skills that I already have that I can refine to bring to the table? Because you can't really sell strategy when you're starting out in this world. So my next Mailbox then became, which skill do I develop? And it was either going to be go into sales or go into copy. And I decided to go into copy. And then the next Mailbox after that was, how do I start finding the ideal people I want to work with? And then I did that. It's all about finding one mailbox in front of the other, in front of the other, in front of the other. And then next thing you know, you're married, you've got 3 fur babies, you're living in Colorado. It just kind of happens because while there's kind of a grand vision, I know what my grand vision is, and like my timeline is until I'm 30, so I still got 4 years ahead of me. But in the meantime, like I can't be like doing nothing for the next 4 years hoping to hit that goal. I have to focus on what's in front of me and what the next mailbox is in order to get there. And if you don't have that big vision yet, if you don't have that great goal, that's okay. Still focus on the next mailbox. And what's beautiful about this program specifically is that you have every mailbox laid out in front of you. It's build your prospecting or build your agency site, then build your prospecting lists, then start getting yeses to screencasts and film those screencasts, then get the deep dives. Like you have all of the steps in front of you. So all you need to focus on is the next mailbox.